Exactly how does the circus work? Well, as you can see, it does, and in fact, it certainly does.
What up, Panther Nation? It's your boy Big Tasty, aka the freaking Puerto Rican, also known as at Joe Riolano, coming to you live from the low country of South Carolina with tonight's episode of Cat Chronicles. I got my main man in the house, the professor, Tony Dunn. What up, Tony? Tell Panther Nation hello.
What's up, Joe, Big Tasty, a.k.a. the Professor is here tonight, bringing a little spice to this division rivalry tonight. I'm excited. Actually, you know what is that? It's that time of the season where I don't know if you can really be excited. Are you excited because you're going into, the anticipation, or are we all kind of worn out at this point? So because of that, we've kind of changed directions on the website this week and tried to channel some energy through hatred. And so we've been talking about on the website and, on Twitter and everywhere, who do we hate in the division, or who do Panther Nation hate, as in teams, and why? And I guess that some of that energy, that disdain, Joey, has turned into some energy. What do you think about that?
I think hate can be a very powerful motivator, and we definitely have some teams that we hate, and we put the poll up on the site, and I saw it was on Facebook, and definitely have the division teams in there as far as hate goes, but we also have the, I'm going to say, dreaded New England Patriots as one of those teams that we hate, and for obvious reasons: Super Bowl, Spygate.
And just, well, really everything about them, and is they have in some ways, I think the hatred that goes towards the Patriot is a hatred of admiration.
Right, because some of it is based on their success, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're upset about the Super Bowl.
I saw a stat.
They were cheated. You know, they were doing that mess against us, probably.
Oh, sure. I heard that they were watching from from some of the cities and some of the big buildings in Houston. They were watching our practices and filming.
Like with the big photo zoom, like there was some damn FBI agent. They have been leading the polls, so Panther Nation has really got onto this, and the idea is that has really been a festering wound among us.
Yes.
And you can really see it. Is that I was so surprised when we put up the poll. How'd you like that picture of the Emperor? That tweet I found that said, "Good, channel the hate." I felt it was fitting. I was stunned. That more people still had that lingering disdain for the New England Patriots, and I thought it was going to be the Saints. And for me, I voted Falcons. Who'd you vote?
I voted Patriots.
Patriots? Oh, okay. So
to get that close, because that was such a magical year, man. It was such a magical year. I think back and I remember I had just moved to Charleston from Greenville that year.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was that long ago. And it's so funny. The story is Lindsay's birthday, my wife, is on January the 11th. Okay? Her aunt wanted to take her out for dinner, and it just happened to be that Saturday night. I think it was a Saturday night. It was the playoff game against the Rams that night. We were at dinner at this little restaurant.
Gosh.
It was at a restaurant called Fondue Yours, where they do fondue. So it's like, when you eat fondue, it's like a 3-hour meal.
Yeah, it's you got to sit around and play with you have to cook it yourself.
Exactly. So we're sitting around talking. I'm getting up and going back and forth between where our table is and the bar, because they have a TV in the bar. And I'm watching the game, and then I'll go back and check on them, go back to the bar. Well, as the game is progressing, nobody's watching it when I first walk in there, but I'm watching it. I'm talking to myself, getting excited. So people start to sort of get intrigued, and people start to watch the game. And as I'm walking back and forth, every time I come to the bar, I'm starting to see more and more people. And the game's, it's winding down, it's tied, goes into overtime. Now people are really into the game. Goes into
That place went ballistic.
Yeah, man. On that Steve Smith touchdown, the whole bar erupted, and still my wife and her aunt were sitting at the table eating. They were like the only people at their table. Everybody else was on the TV.
They walked out without their check, without paying the check.
And then and when he scored, everybody went crazy. Now, again, I say to you, when I first got in there, nobody was really watching it, so nobody really knew anybody. But everybody was hugging each other. They were patting each other on the back. It was like we were holding hands and singing "Kumbaya." It was just so exciting. It was a great experience. And then
it was a moment of solidarity among
it really was.
Panther fans.
And then to get to the Super Bowl.
And you're kind of knocking off a champ.
Yes.
At that time. You know, I mean, the Rams have been in that golden age just before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you really got to stick. It was the golden run.
Right. And then to get to the Super Bowl, play so poorly like we did, and then play so well like we did.
That first half, man, it was so downtrodden, wasn't it?
It was like, I can't believe we showed up and laid an egg. That's really what it felt like.
That was 11 years ago, right? 2003?
That was 2003, yeah.
Okay, so that's 11 years ago. I was 21 years old. It wasn't even 20 years old, Joey, and we watched the Super Bowl at this cat named Matt Elam. I don't know if he worked at his house. He worked at Michelangelo's with us. He's a delivery driver. He's from Wilmington. He's a really cool cat, and he lived out on the golf course. And I didn't even know him that well at that time. We just we're trying to take it easy, and we all kind of got together, just Panther fans, which there are not a lot of us, surprisingly, in Eastern North Carolina, especially in 2001. I know it was Super Bowl, but still, you got to think of how much bigger Panther Nation is now than it was then. And so I didn't even know this cat that well. It was such, we were just chilling out. Everybody had like a 12-pack. We were young. And we were having a good time. Except we weren't having a good time in that first half. And it was just like, oh, my God. And that second half, Joey, was so magical.
Right.
And it was that same experience you're talking about. I was hugging this dude. We were jumping up and down. I mean, just going ballistic. So I guess I can see why people still hold on. It was they stole that moment from us. They just kicked it, or and it could have been
the perfect ending to a magical season.
What would have that done to the Carolina Panther franchise if we would have won that? What do you think? What do you think would be different today? Would there be anything different, or would it just been one? I mean, clearly we wouldn't have enough to come back, but in 2 years we did.
Yeah, it's sure. I think it would have definitely affected the organization in a positive way. I don't know how much of an actual difference it would have made, but it given us a Super Bowl ring, which not every team in the NFL can say that. So. I think maybe it would have broadened our fan base quicker. You know what I'm saying? That might have been the one positive effect.
Peppers would have stayed.
Perhaps. Yeah. Perhaps. Massin might never have left.
Maybe get some more people that are interested in coming to Carolina, free agent wise, or so. I don't know. I feel that, I don't want to say that, I'm glad. It's almost proper. I feel like that's just kind of, I don't know, maybe you need those moments to galvanize you. I guess a celebration would galvanize us just as much.
For sure.
Okay, so
that's why I think the Patriots there's so much vitriol against the Patriots, just because of that taking that moment from us, our opportunity. It's not their fault. They wanted to win too, but they just happened to be the team that we were playing. And had it been the Chiefs, we would hate the Chiefs the way we hate the Patriots.
Yeah, that's true. I would, but before we get it, because I want to talk about who I was surprised we didn't hate more and some of the reasons why. First, I want to plug the website. Thanks for joining us and listening to the C3 podcast video broadcast. You can check us out and all the hottest fan talk at www.carolinacatchronicles.com. Follow us on Twitter at cat_chronicles. I also want to give a couple of shout outs. First, we got to give a shout out to Ken Dye, Ken_Dye, DYE. My man wrote a tough piece, a heady piece on Cam Newton's quarterback numbers. And you got to say this is something that typically isn't always on the site. Something that was, not that people don't write heady stuff on the site, I think we do, but critical, and it was kind of in depth. So everybody go and check that story out. I also want to thank Aaron Ford, a.k.a. Mel Mayock, at Panther Drafter. Follow him because he was the one that came up with this whole kind of hate week, tell us your story, let's build this, and it's been kind of a cool experience because we've had some fun with it, and it hasn't been mean. It's just been good-hearted. This is why we really don't like you or your fan base. So I thought it was a cool idea, and he also had another idea to follow it up with a little kumbaya. So next week we're going to bring it with some little love from Panther Nation. So thank you, Aaron, for that. Joey, how bad has it been on Twitter? Have they been crazy about who they hate, or has it been fun?
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of people giving all sorts of reasons. I saw one guy on Facebook said that he would pull for the Taliban before pulling for the Cowboys.
Gosh, that's pretty tough. What, the Cowboys, out of all people, what does they matter?
Right, I know. I hate the Cowboys too.
I think it's their fans.
It's a lot of times they compare them to New York Yankee fans, and I'm a Yankee fan. So anyway, but yes, it's been fun. A lot of surprising teams. When Aaron Ford, the guy you were just talking about, said his uncle put the Steelers up there. He hates the Steelers. I know. But anyway, it's been fun. It's been real interesting seeing people's perspective on why they hate certain teams, and sometimes they don't even give you a reason. They just hate them because they happen to be in our division.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel. I think Ken gave a good answer. Is they are all tied for first. But to me, I liked a lot of them. I thought we got a lot of response in the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
So let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers. We hadn't even planned on, I haven't even thought about that until just now, talking about responses flying around. One of my favorite people on Twitter, she's always real funny, her name is Abby Lewis, I believe. She put, she said for the division, it's going to be New Orleans. Out of division is 49ers. And I hadn't even thought about that. I was just focusing my hate on the division so much. And that was the first instance I saw, like, hey, I really do hate the 49ers. Joey, you used to be a 49er fan.
I was the biggest 49er fan you ever met. An East Coast 49er fan. It just doesn't even sound right. But I played receiver in college, so I had a natural affinity for Dwight Clark, the West Coast style of offense, and I didn't think anybody did it any better than the 49ers. Roger Craig, Tom Rathman, Ricky Waters, I can name them all. Yes, I was a huge fan, but once Carolina got a team, that changed, and now I'm on the opposite side of the fence, and I can't stand the 49ers. The organization has changed so much from when Eddie DeBartolo Jr. was running it. It's nowhere near the same organization, and I don't want to name call or anything. I don't think it's not held to the same standard. I don't think it's held to the same standard it was before. So yes, I
Okay.
can.
What do
Colin
you think
Kaepernick.
about, gosh, Gonzo?
Yes.
Gonzo. I wish I could put up an image of him and Gonzo with that dang nose. All right. Then the other thing. All right, let's talk about Colin Kaepernick. As always, first thing we got to get out of the way when we talk about Colin Kaepernick. Cam Newton, greater than. Right? Second, Gonzo, that nose is out of control.
Yes, it is.
With all that, and third, that's just discount Cam Newton, folks. That is Cam Newton for a discount dollar piece. And what I mean by that is he ain't as good as Cam Newton.
Nope.
But he is poser Cam. Man, Cam Newton's a better passer than him. I don't want to hear that. Well, you're going to see those funky mechanics that he has become problematic for him later on. He's not going to be able to throw like he does on the run with that length. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I think his athleticism has less longevity than Cam's.
Right.
And it's not that I think he's going to get hurt. I just feel like he's kind of at this fun point in his career where he can run around and be a huge Brett Favre-like, just do stupid stuff. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see if they turn him into a game manager. I just don't like him. And then maybe he is, maybe he's not as bad as I give him credit for. But what I don't like about him is now he thinks he's all that.
Yeah.
He's on the GQ magazine, naked, or whatever it was. He is trying to outshine Cam in our house when nobody. Where'd that come from?
Right.
So he really grates me.
I agree. He's not trying to make any friends. That's for sure. That is for sure. So what we need to do is when we play them again, whenever that may be, hopefully this year in the playoffs, hurt him. I'm just kidding. That wasn't very nice. that wasn't very nice.
That was really serious too for a second. Like you fooled me.
No, he.
No, really, I'm not kidding.
Friends on this Panthers organization, no doubt about it. He has
not after that time.
No, not after. No, that was. Yeah.
Do you think Cam and when Cam went to the Comic-Con thing and him and Cam did the Comic-Con together and they were like buddy? Do you think Cam Newton was just like, I really want to just
I think probably
foot race you right now?
Right. Yeah.
Is he faster than Cam?
I don't know. He might be. I know he's not. He's lighter. He's a little bit smaller than Cam, so
he's
maybe
thinner.
Maybe he's a little quicker. Cam is very muscular. Where he's a little more lean.
I'm gonna open Twitter
Speaking of Cam, did you see the video he did where he called out Richard Sherman to play in Madden?
Yeah. What'd you think about it? Did you see? I put it up this morning on the website.
Oh, okay. I saw it this afternoon on Twitter.
I put it up. I woke up and just saw somebody retweet it, so I watched it and I was like, "This is awesome, dude."
Yeah.
What I thought was fun about it is Cam is well put together, and I can see how some people might not like him a little bit. I love him, but I could see that he's good looking, he's confident,
charismatic.
Yeah, and he's really happy, that kind of like, I'm going to have a good time. So I think when you see somebody just enjoying themselves so much and you're not a fan of them, it could be annoying. Maybe. Let me say about this, is what I got to say about this is, or what I mean by all that. He's like 22 years old and a millionaire.
Yes.
And he's awesome. And he is challenge a dude on YouTube on Madden. It's all good fun. He got a phone number.
Right.
He got a
hotline.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny and cool. Like I would do, it's like he ain't out there partying. He don't seem to me like the guy. I think he's well put together. I think he's got his mess together.
Right. He's not out there speeding and getting drunk in clubs and getting in fights and doing things that most people his age are wanting to do. And maybe he does. He just has more self control. But so he's a big kid, man. He's 22 years old. He's got an Xbox One. He's got a PS4.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
screen
Like
set up right beside each other. He's ready. He's
if that's what makes you mad about Cam, right? As because people say like, oh, he's cocky, you know what I'm saying, or something. If that's what bothers you, then you need to hate everybody else in the NFL before you hate him.
for sure.
I mean, because like you've got all of that. You're legit. You've had one of the best seasons ever in a rookie campaign ever. You know what I'm saying? You could be just a total douchebag. And you're not. If you're making Madden challenges and making videos and doing the fun little videos with the lady from Sports Center, you're just enjoying it. I think he's out on the football field having a good time, joking around, listening to, that seems like a good kid.
I agree. How can you hate that? When you look
Yeah,
at
but I
all
think that does bother people.
Sure.
I think it's that bothers people, that it's annoying because either they think he is fronting or he's really a douchebag. And I hear these people always talking about like he charges for autographs, and then like somebody will say, oh, he's like real arrogant, he'll charge for autographs, and then you'll see like 30 people afterwards be like, he didn't charge me. I saw one guy said like signed a shoebox. And he put a picture of a shoebox up there. So I don't know. I think that we are I hope we get to say hello to him when we go to training camp.
That would be great. Yeah. Show him to
I haven't been able to. If anybody can email us the training camp schedule, because when I go to the website and look at training camp, it still says 2013. And
well, yeah, they'll be updating that soon if they have it already.
I know, man, it's getting close. I'm ready to plan that trip.
Yeah, no doubt. But getting back to the hate, on the poll, I guess New England was the top, and then who was coming in second? Was that
Saints?
The Saints, New Orleans.
Yeah, and then like the Tampa Bay Bucks had like 7%. I voted Atlanta, but who do you think between Atlanta and New Orleans that gets your craw, whatever that phrase is?
It would definitely
had a total experience. Like if you had to play the Saints at home and play the Falcons at home and beat one of them, and you were sitting beside a Falcons fan or a Saints fan, which one would you rather be sitting beside?
I'd rather beat the Saints, but personally, I would rather beat Matt Ryan.
Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan. I'd rather beat Meg Ryan.
I need to say hello to S_Danner52 on Twitter, who said you got mail in a tweet and from the Kraken, and that's where this came from.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hate Meg Ryan. Why do you hate Meg Ryan, but you would rather beat the Saints? So tell me where that vitriol comes from.
I don't like the Saints because they won a Super Bowl.
Okay. All right.
And they're in our division. That's why.
All right. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did too.
Yeah, but that was so long ago.
Okay.
We've been to the Super Bowl since then, since they won.
All right.
And they've always been good. Since they've had Drew Brees, anyway, the Saints have. I like Drew Brees as a player, but I hate when we play him just because he is so good.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback.
He's kind of a good. I feel like he's kind of a good guy, though.
He is. I
kind of rooted for him when he left San Diego. Not when he went to the Saints, but I thought that they just did everybody wrong there when they fired Schottenheimer and they got rid of Brees, and they were 14-2.
Right. They did. That was terrible.
So okay, keep going. So Drew Brees.
Yeah, Drew Brees. He's not really the only guy I like, but then you look at the whole Bounty Gate thing, and they were trying to hurt Cam. Not just Cam, but they were trying to hurt all of them.
Yeah.
all the other players, that make an impact on teams. That's dirty. I mean, if it happens over the course of a game, that's one thing. But if you're trying to pay somebody to do that, that's just bush league, man. That's low class. So, and that's
Big Q thinks though that it's all overdone and that we're making it up.
well, I don't.
They tried to hurt Cam.
Yeah, that's
I
his
think they
opinion.
did.
He's entitled to it. I think they. I mean, it's clear that they did. Why would they? They suspended one of the coaches for a year.
Yeah, but he thought that he's saying they were trying to like make an example out of them rather than being this bad team.
And
I don't.
that's probably true. They caught him red-handed. They're trying to work on the image of the league, safety of the players, that whole initiative.
Right,
So
which is out ahead right now with the lawsuit that Dan Marino joined today
I know.
or yesterday. That's kind of a big deal because they say that brings credibility. Do you think that, and then we're going back to the Saints, do you think that if they got him on the stand, which I know that's not how they do it, but in his deposition, do you think they'll ask him what his Wonderlic score was? To try to undermine his credibility? Okay. All right, so you'd rather beat the Saints. You don't. You kind of like Drew Brees is kind of an odd guy because he's so short. You want to cheer for the little guy out there, but not. You can't cheer about for anybody in our division. I can't anyway. Here's what I got to say about Drew Brees is I was debating this: is who do I dislike the most, the Saints or the Falcons? I think I would say that the Saints game I went to. I've been to losses with both, right? And I've been to a lot of losses against the Falcons, so that's why I hate them so much. But the Saints game that I went to, the fans weren't that bad, and they weren't that bad because they had pummeled us. I mean, it was 33-3, and we were on the fourth row, Joey, on the 45-yard line. It was just horrendous. We stayed the entire game. We got on the Jumbotron. They gave Suzanne, our friend, like $250 in airplane vouchers, and our theory is that we were just the only Panther fans still there. It was like, just look at these four people in the front, just going crazy. So I think the Saints fans felt so terrible for us. The people in front of us got like a pair of wide receiver gloves. We sat on the Saints side, a little cheaper. So I was trying to think of something mean to yell at Drew Brees, but I'm not as like crappy of a fan as to just say something like nasty just to say it.
Right.
And I couldn't say. I wanted to say, you suck, Drew Brees, you suck. But I couldn't because he just carved us up. Yeah. So he
didn't.
Yeah, he was right in front of me, man. Like, he could hear me. And so I just let the truth reign. And I told him, your commercials suck, Drew Brees. And your wife is a better actress than you are. You are just as much an actress as she is. When I told him his commercials sucked, he chuckled. He did. He visibly laughed. And so
he knew that's all you had him on.
Yeah, but he knew that mess was true. Them commercials were so painful with him and his wife and his giant wife. She's like 6'4", and he's 5'8". And she's good on camera, and he's getting better. He's getting better because he's on like his 9,000 commercial now. Falcons, I hate and loathe the Falcons. There's so many reasons. Oh, one other thing about the Saints, Roman Harper.
Yes.
We need to talk about this for a moment. He's one of the most hated players in the whole entire league when it comes to the Panthers and the fan base. he seems to epitomize that whole Bounty Gate type attitude. Or he did. You know, I mean, he likes to blow people up. He does. He likes to blow people up. And he likes to blow coverages lately, is from what I hear from Saints fans. But that play against Steve Smith, that has to resonate and sit in the minds and the hearts of Panther fans still. What do you think about all that?
I think as long as he's on the team, we're willing to forgive, but there will be no forgetting. Once he's off the team, he will go back to being on the hated list. You know what I mean? They're willing to put it aside while he's on the team. As long as he can contribute. If he gets on the team and sucks and blows coverages and misses tackles, yeah, there's gonna be spewing some vitriol against him.
I think that Godfrey is going to end up replacing him before the season's over at safety.
You think Godfrey will go back to safety?
You think that? I'm kind of interested to see if he can transition to nickel corner.
Yeah, well, he played corner in college.
Yeah, but that was so long ago, and he's coming off Achilles injury. It's not like he played in the NFL corner.
Right. Well, I mean, he should. I think it's his more natural position.
You think so?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, prior to the Achilles injury, anyway.
Well, what do you do if one of those dudes sucks? What if you do if Deku or Harper's just sucking? You just go with Lester?
Yeah, Lester's going to have to get in there, and we'll go from there. I think Lester.
Trey Boston.
I would be surprised if he's able to come in and contribute right away like that. I mean,
I think so.
I would be shocked. You know, on special teams maybe, but not actually like gameplay. Not yet. But maybe Lester. I like Lester. I thought he had a good year last year. And he's going to be a year in the system. He'll have a year of experience under his belt. He could be the answer if one of those guys falters.
You got to worry about Roman Harper and his health and his age.
Right. That's the big thing.
And his game was so predicated on being a physical and dude.
Right.
That athleticism. I mean, he's losing that athleticism, that intimidation factor, I would think. All right, so all right, I'll tell you what it takes for me to start to like Roman Harper. And right now I'm in neutral because he's on the Panthers. Follow us on Twitter, man. My gosh, you follow 186 other thousand people trying to get to make friends in Panther Nation. We're voice of the Panther Nation. Come on, man. Give us a follow. Then I'll start. That's the seed. That's the olive branch, man. Olive branch. Roman Harper is a follow for Cat Chronicles. @Cat_Chronicles. Calling on you, Roman Harper. Extend the olive branch. Let's talk about the Falcons, Joe. My most hated team. I can tell you why. It goes back to Mike Vick. Mike Vick is, for me, and I know there's other reasons to hate the Falcons, somebody that's really, really popular on the East Coast, Mike Vick, and from where I'm at in the South, not in my town, he's not popular here. I loathe this dude. Or I did. Now I kind of cheer for him now because I hope he is. What do they do? You know, when you go to prison, you can either punish people or rehabilitate them.
Right.
So I'm hoping that he has done his time and he's being rehabilitated and he's just in the AFC. So leave us alone. But Mike Vick has caused me a lot of problems and a lot of downtrodden moments for my most beloved teams, the Pirates and the Panthers. My college team and my pro team. He destroyed us. 4 years and when he was with Virginia Tech, just ate us alive every dang game. Michael Vick, single man. He was a show. Then he goes to Atlanta, and it felt like he did that every game we played against him. And there was the Superman play, the one where he was in Atlanta, and he dove, and somehow his knee didn't touch, and he got a touchdown. There was the game I was at. I've been at many where he's beat, and we were winning the whole game. And then Algie Crumpler with like a minute and 56 seconds left, catches a ball like on the 25 and just runs right up the seam over. Mike Vick has tormented me, man. And the Dirty Bird drives me crazy.
Right.
The fans, they come out, dude, and they party all up in Carol, and you know, because Atlanta's the closest,
Right.
so it's always a big turnout. Why do you? What's been bugging you about the Falcons the most?
Yeah, it's definitely it started with Michael Vick and how he could just dominate the Panthers. And he was a thorn in their side. And then they draft Meg Ryan, and Meg Ryan runs off at the mouth with a saying get off the field when they were just so fortunate to win that game. I mean, if it wasn't for
A side of Roddy White Rice.
and Hideki Nakamura, the man of the negative 3-inch vertical.
The man that cannot jump. He's like feet made of cinder blocks. On the one play that you know you can't give. See, that's the other thing is that like it's just all like luck and well, I mean I can see how it's excited and stuff, but you're the last dude on that team that's supposed to be like that Matt Ryan from Boston College, Matt. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of happy that Matt Ryan has turned out to be mediocre.
Yes.
Because there was such high hopes for him coming in.
Right.
I thought that everybody was just like, he's the answer. He's a real deal quarterback. He's going to be like a Tom Brady type quarterback. You know, a real check off, smart quarterback.
Right. The second coming of Hammer,
you know, now he can't run or nothing, but just a real heady quarterback. And he's turned out to be a bum.
Right. He is the epitome of mediocrity.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to talk smack about a play that he knows he was fortunate, that's rubbing people the wrong way, and that's one of the reasons why he's so hated. And this, you know, last year they were terrible. They should be better this year. So there's a chance for Panther Nation to deepen the hate that they feel for the Falcons based on you know what he does this year. And the team does this year. They should be better, though. So, you know, one of the things, I guess it was Aaron Ford, a.k.a. at Mel Mayock, said for a rivalry or for there to be hate in a rivalry, there has to be, like, equality as far as wins and losses. If it's one-sided, you know, it's not really a rivalry, I guess.
Is that what the Bucks are?
I think so. We pretty much own the Bucks.
We have let's talk about the Bucks next, but here we go with the Atlanta. Who do you dislike the most out of fans, out of all three? And it can't be Bucks fans. Actually, I can't. Actually, I have one Buck fan. We had him on the draft night.
Yes.
And that dude's like remarkably smart when it comes to football. CW. We're gonna bring him back on the show because he's like a football expert. He's like a whiz. He's cool.
He's John Clayton, but just for the Bucks. Only the Bucks.
Yeah, he is the John Clayton and NC State. He knows NC State.
Oh, okay.
Wolfpack like that too. But he's cool. But I have some Buck fans think they're like, well, I guess they have won a Super Bowl. It's kind of strange to be a Buck fan. Like, if you ever asked that, like, it's like, how did you become a Tampa Bay Buck fan?
Right,
like,
if you're not from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, like the guy CW is like from Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
When it comes to the fan bases, Joey, who do you dislike the most? Saints fans and the Voodoo Magic, the Falcons fans and the Dirty Bird, and the Bucks. I don't know what you would say with the Bucks with that terrible orange. With
burnt orange.
I guess they're still touting Warren Sapp. They still think that Warren Sapp is as good as he thinks Warren Sapp thinks he is. What what fan base drives you the most nuts? That drives you bonkers?
I think the Saints.
Really?
Yeah, for me, I think
They are so over. They're pretty over the top, aren't they?
yeah, and that's what it is. They're loud, in your face. They
It's that New Orleans culture, though. You know,
yeah,
they're gonna make it something like it's the Mardi Gras of football. Their party.
right.
For me, it's the Falcons. The Falcon fans.
Well, that's because
I
you've been to so many of those games and
Yes,
experienced
yes,
so
it
many.
is. I've been to like 10 Falcon games, and I feel like 8, 9 of them, maybe all 10 Falcon games have been losses. I feel like it's been that many, Joe. It's probably been 6 Falcons games I've been to, and they've all been losses. And the latest one was probably the year before. Maybe this was maybe 2011. No, was it Cam's rookie year or Cam's sophomore year? Might have been Cam's sophomore year, and we were in the stands. It had to have been. I wear the cape
Right,
to
right.
the games.
Super
So,
Cam.
I wear the Super Cam cape to the games. So and we bring signs every time, and we had we were having fun, and we have a good time. And these two Falcon fans walk up like 30 minutes late to the game, 45, and they just looked at us like they acted at first like they owned the place for the first 15 minutes. They were super wary about this dude beside them wearing a cape, cheering real hard. Now, by the end, we had made acquaintances. But I was like, dude, you can't come into our stadium and then be kind of like critical of our cheering. You got to deal with this. We come to your mess, we got to deal with stupid Dirty Bird everywhere. Some 90-year-old lady doing the Dirty Bird on the sidewalk. We got to deal with that. So you should come into our house. Nobody's cursing. Nobody's in your face yet, like screaming at you. I think he was hesitant. But I do think it's the Falcons, and they think they're so awesome. The fans think they're good.
Right.
And when have they been? I mean,
Last year they thought they were good too.
they did. That's exactly right. But they should feel good every time I'm there because obviously that's when they're awesome. So Meg Ryan, we're going to take him out to dinner, the Panthers, and serve fried falcon over rotty white rice. What was the thing that people were saying on Twitter with the stew? Meg Ryan stew or Meg stew? I didn't get that one, but people liked it.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
All right.
It was something stew over rotty white rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about these Bucks. What do you think? Do you think that are you ready to just channel this hatred against the Bucks, or are you wary of being too angry and kind of? Because I think when you hate somebody, there's a degree of confidence there. Maybe are you worried that their team might be so much better this year that you have to temper that a little bit, the kind of trash talk?
Yeah, I am concerned. I think they're going to be a much improved team. They have had talent. Now they have a coach to coach it, and that's what concerns me. So as far as hatred goes, there's not a lot of it, I guess, other than the fact that they're in the division, so you don't pull for them for that reason. But this could be the year where we start funneling and channeling some of that hate in their direction.
I just hope that they beat up the Falcons and the Saints some.
That'd be great. Soften
You
them
know?
up. Yes, I hope so too. I hope so too.
Well, all right. I can't even really talk about the Bucks because I really don't even know what to say. Like, what do we dislike about them? When they won the Super Bowl, I can't remember. It's been so long. Were we just like completely out of it that year? Like, did we have?
That was that 2000?
Was it? Let me
2000?
see. I'll look it up.
2001, or it was early in 2000, 2002.
That was with Chucky, right?
Yeah, Chucky.
2002. So
Yeah,
yeah, so we were like, what were we that year? That was the year before the Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl run. Yeah,
So
well,
we were like 7-9 or something like that.
our defense was real good that year. I think we were second in the league in
That's right.
defense, only to Tampa.
Yeah, what were we? 7-9 or 8 and we weren't 8-8. I think we were 7-9
Yeah,
that
that
year.
sounds right. That sounds about right.
Kind of like what we were. Maybe I think it's been Chocolate Wonderland saying that, hey, but when we went to the Super Bowl the next year, we had the number 2 defense the year before. So maybe we get the number 1. We got to get some offense. I think we're going to be okay. I don't think we'll be as bad. I just think we have to find a way to run the ball, Joey.
That's it.
And that's what you're gonna have to do against the Bucks. So if we don't learn how to run the ball this year, we will start hating the Bucks because I think that's what they're going to do more than we expect. Unless that's true, we don't know what to expect from that guy from Stanford or whatever, right? Where is he from? The Trudar. I don't know who his name is. They just got a new offensive coordinator.
Right. Oh, you're talking about from Cal, Trudeau.
Cal. Yeah, something like that. Where you like Aaron Rodgers got coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. He was a. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He had Marshawn Lynch, and he liked to run Lynch. So I believe that we run first, play good defense, sort of just what we want to do, man. They're going to be the same kind of team that we are. Play defense, get after the quarterback, run the ball, control the clock. That's what they're going to try to do.
All right. Well, we were supposed to have Chocolate Wonderland on tonight, and what I wanted to do was ask him what these hate videos are, because they have the whole NFC South bid makers.
Right.
And they go after each other, and they go after each other pretty hard. So I'm kind of curious about this culture. Obviously, we're not as good at it as they are.
Obviously.
I've had a long day, too. So, and, it's kind of hard to hate everybody right now when we're the division champs. Sorry. But I think what I want to do is I really want to have Chocolate Wonderland on the show because he's been doing some great work for us, writing, and I've been a supporter of the website from day one. And he really knows his division hate.
He does.
I mean, he can really go after all the bums and, so I want to ask him about this culture. I also want to give a shout out to The Voice, who has been plugging us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to warn people that The Voice is not for the faint of heart.
Or for work.
Or for what?
Or for listening to when you're at work.
Oh, yeah, do not listen to The Voice while you're at work. You might, look, let's just say this, is my man films his vids in the car.
Yes.
Like in solitude, so he can unleash this fury of expletives and crazy. But
it's
entertaining. It is very entertaining. I like it. I like what those guys do to a certain degree. Is that I just, I'm not good at it, so I couldn't.
Right.
It's not like I'm gonna be making those videos because I'm not I can't do what they do, which is really cool.
Right. That's
but you have to take it for what it is, and just realize that it is meant to be like that.
Right. It's talking smack. They're going after each other. It's interesting to watch the dynamic between them all. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, and they have these they put on the big show about it. It's like produced.
Right.
Viciousness.
Yes.
I also want to plug our boy Big Q, TeamBoyTV.com. I saw that he just put out a bumper. I haven't been able to watch it today for Team Boy TV Turbo. Their show, Team Boy TV Live, I think is the name of the show, which big because they have 3 shows. There's Game Time. There's Live. You guys got to watch out for Big Q. I think they're going to have a good season this year. And, keep hating because we're going to need that energy this year Joey, you got anything else you want to say on the way out?
I want to say keep tuning in, guys. We've got some really interesting, exciting things on the horizon. We've got some big plans, and they all involve you, the fan, because we are Carolina Cat Chronicles, and we are the voice of Panther Nation, because we all know without the fan, football is just a game kids play.
Yeah, and you guys got to watch out because I think there might be some tickets coming down the pipe.
That's
with
right.
a potential dinner.
That's right.
Fantasy football, I'll go ahead and put it out there. I got 5 recruits tonight.
Nice.
So you guys are going to have to sign up for fantasy football because they're going to fly off like hotcakes. It's going to come out, watch 2 weeks. We're going to start putting out some information a couple weeks, end of the month. Actually, at the end of the month, we'll start putting out the information. So you guys tune in that. Hit us up, 1250 Pirate Radio, 4 p.m. C3 is going to be representing on the sports bar. Check that out, Joey. I want you to tune in, see how I do. You can grade me. And don't hate on me.
I'll definitely be listening. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Check us out, folks.
Yep, check us out. You can follow us on Twitter at cat_chronicles. And anybody, we appreciate everything that all our supporters have done for us. We certainly do. There are a lot of them out there.
Like the sign, S. Danner 52.
That's right.
Yes, super Panther fan right there. All right. Well, good night, everyone.